All right. Lucas and Anjali, have you seen can you make sure you know what your question is?
Oh, do I have to do the question?
Oh, sorry. No, I meant Lucas, not Anjali.
Same question.
Yeah, check in your texts in the group Google chat.
Okay.
Why is it playing this one on the playlist? The song slightly irritates me. Because you just don't like the song, or you don't like the themes of the song. Yeah, it's the 70s. Okay. Yeah, so Lucas, you have the first question and the fourth.
Yep.
Henry's got 2 and 7. And Ibuki has 3 and 6. How's it going, Mark? And then Mark, you have question 5. Just check your Google chat. And I can take Ibuki's, unless somebody wants to take Ibuki's questions if he doesn't show up. Oh, it's 8:11. Oh, here's Jesse. I gotta turn off the music. How's it going, Jesse? Ooh, sorry, let me turn off the music. What's up? Whoop. What's up?
Hey, Peter, how are
Hey,
you?
how's it going?
Good, good.
Looking good. Where are you, at home or?
Yeah, I'm at home. I'm working from home today.
Oh, nice. Um, we are waiting for one student. We'll give him another second.
Okay.
I just want to you can see our small class. Say hi to Jesse.
Hello, everybody.
Um, just to remind you all, Jesse graduated from Athenian. What year, Jesse?
2010.
2010. And Jesse was always into filmmaking. You can ask him questions about that. Not always, but a lot of the time, right?
Mhm.
And then went off to NYU and now and did like a ton of other films after NYU, working for BBC, right? And other places.
Mhm.
And now is in the Bay Area and making films here. I
Yep.
think what we're going to do is each student's going to ask a question, and they're going to introduce themselves. So who's our first person again? Lucas? Okay, great. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Lucas, and I guess my question is, how did you first become interested in acting or filmmaking? And like, what were you able to like learn about acting or filmmaking throughout like your kind of education? Oh, not acting. The question said acting, so just filmmaking. Yeah.
Sure. Mhm. Yeah, it's a great question. So I first got into it just making some snowboarding videos with my friends when I was in middle school or so, and then some fun kind of just like silly home movies from there. I feel like I first started getting more serious about it in high school. I got an internship with a hip hop group and did a short documentary about them in the Bay Area. And then I think it was there I kind of realized that you could make a career out of this and got interested in applying to film schools. So yeah, I thought Athenian was actually a great place to become interested in filmmaking. I took an independent study class with Peter that really actually helped with making my applications for film school. I only applied to programs that offered to teach film. So yeah, really first got into it in middle school and high school, and yeah, kind of committed to that career path then. Does that answer your question well?
I mean, I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks. Okay. Henry.
Hello, Jesse. I'm Henry.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My question is, what makes you what makes a good college applicant to a film program, in your
Ooh,
opinion?
that's a great question. It's I think it's a little hard to say just because I was always on the applicant side and I was never on the acceptance side. I think being able to show that you are a good storyteller. I think that the schools are going to understand that not every single person is going to have access to amazing equipment and lights and sets and be able to, have a production that looks expensive and clean. And I think they're willing to really more focus on the storytelling and the direction that's there. Just because not everyone's going to be able to necessarily film, have a big set, a big crew, or anything, especially when you're in high school. I remember specifically with NYU, a lot of the teachers would mention that, they were really looking more for just kind of the basis of what would make a good storyteller. And I think that's easier said than done, but I think coming back to the screenplay is really key. And at NYU, they put a big emphasis on showing and not telling. So I think that's when making your film to send into film schools to apply, it's not necessarily having too much expository dialogue, having a voiceover tell us exactly what's going to happen. I think it's really more you are using video as a language to show the audience what's happening. So a lot of our first movies at NYU were actually no dialogue. They're essentially silent films, and you would want to be able to tell a story through these actions, and that kind of taught us to not rely on dialogue or voiceover. So I think going in that direction can be really helpful. Not saying that you can't have any dialogue or you can't have any voiceover, but I think of each scene and each shot, how you can push the story forward visually and not just relying on something that's being spoken, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you. What's your favorite movie?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's hard to choose just one. I think I love this movie called City of God. I think I saw it for the first time when I was in high school, probably like freshman year, maybe sophomore year. And that was kind of one of the first movies I saw that was like, wow, this is incredibly powerful. It's a amazing story. And it just kind of got me more interested in pursuing filmmaking.
It's a good movie. Who had the next question?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Ibuki. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
My question was what was your college experience like the college experience itself, and if that experience affected your career like right now at all?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. So NYU is pretty specific college experience just because it's in New York City. It's in Manhattan. There's not really campus, so you're not walking around. I don't know if anybody's been to like walk around Berkeley and UC Berkeley campus. It feels very different than that. There's not really a centralized area where people hang out. There's not really like a bunch of houses where college students will be. So in that way, you're not necessarily meeting people through that campus experience. You're more meeting people through their classes. And then also, I got an apartment my sophomore year with a couple friends, and after freshman year at NYU, people just started moving a little bit further away from the actual school. So it felt a little bit more spread out, and that did feel like there was kind of we kind of skipped a little bit of the normal college experience. I think most colleges are going to have schools, and even if you get an apartment, you're kind of going to be close to the campus, and it's going to be kind of in an area where there's a lot more students, and I feel like I lost that a little bit. On the flip side, I got to live in a city that was truly amazing. It had a lot of amazing music, movies, a lot of film events, where you could go see director Q&As, and you could go to film festivals that were taking place there and see a lot of amazing art. And I think that kind of made up for some of the loss of the college experience. What was the second part of the question? It was
Oh yeah, like if the experience itself, like college experience, like affected your career right now.
oh yeah, definitely. So I think with any film school, you're going to be working with your peers a lot. And some of my friends were the first people to get me consistent work out of school. I think it's also good in school to work with your older classmates who are more experienced. A lot of what I learned was working on short films and getting people who were a year or 2 or 3 years older than me to help teach me the ropes, and kind of be a mentor. One in particular, right out of school, started hiring me on a lot of commercials, doing a lot of kind of documentary content for bigger companies, doing in-house videos that would purely be internal work, where we'd be like interviewing a CEO of a company and then doing B-roll, like kind of B-roll shots of the offices. And then actually one of my classmates recommended me for a job that really changed my life, where I ended up getting hired by the producer who he recommended me to go travel around the world. I got to film in over 20 countries with this one producer, on multiple TV shows. So I think it's really important to be really friendly and nice to everyone. I wasn't super close to this person, but they thought of me when this producer was asking for recommendations. And that one recommendation led to 4 years of consistent travel work, where I got to film all over the world, and it was kind of a dream job for me. So you really never know who is going to recommend you for a job, or is who might offer you a job to work with them. So I think, yeah, it's just the social life of NYU and being able to work with my peers like that was my into a career. And it doesn't have to be like that. I actually have a lot of friends who got internships with companies in school, and then they got their first job out of school from that internship, and it wasn't really dependent on a recommendation from a friend, or a friend getting them that job. But it really doesn't hurt to just, yeah, meet people, learn from people. It's great to learn from the school, but you're also really, if you go to film school, you're going to be learning from hands-on experience, and you're going to be working with your classmates, with people that are older than you. And you can learn a lot from them. So and I went into freelance out of college, so I didn't have a 9 to 5 job for years out of college, and that was based all on word of mouth. And it all kind of stemmed from my film school. So yeah, it was the catalyst of being hired pretty much for every single job was essentially through the people I knew at NYU. So it was incredibly important.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, back to me. So my next question is, what are the major responsibilities in your current job, and like what would a typical daily routine look like for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So now I have a little bit of a different role. I work at a nonprofit in the Bay Area. It's called the Center for Independent Living. We help disabled people in the Bay Area. I work kind of on the media and communications team. So I do video, photo, social media, kind of email communications where we're sending email blasts to our different lists, and I do a little bit of website design. So we'll be updating our website, and this role is not all video and photo. So I just also want to say that even if you do want to go to film school and you do want to pursue a career in that, it doesn't pigeonhole you into just working on movies and TV shows. There's a lot of marketing jobs and there's a lot of video jobs out there that are for companies all over the country. You don't only have to live in LA or New York to go into film. So a typical day for me will be probably doing like some social media work, making, if we have an email blast to get out, helping with drafting the email, any website updates that need to be done. And then I'll check in with my coworkers about potential opportunities to go take videos and photos of how the nonprofit is helping our community. So this pivot for me was specifically done because of COVID. Pre-COVID, I was traveling to a different country pretty much every month. For, in some cases it was like every other month, but for 4 years I was traveling a lot for work, and that was much more intense television work where I was working in a country for 2 weeks with maybe only 1 or 2 days off, and those days looked completely different than my day right now. I can work from home a lot when I don't need to go photograph and take videos now. Back then, I would be waking up before sunrise to set up time lapses for sunrise. And then if we were filming in a city, we would go film all over the major sites, bouncing from one location to the next, doing maybe an interview with a historian or someone to kind of get a cultural perspective of the show. And the show was, a lot of the shows I worked for were kind of like outdoor adventure documentary series where we would be climbing a mountain or hiking through a jungle or crossing a desert. And once we kind of did the outdoor adventure aspect of the show, we would it would kind of be similar. We'd wake up before sunrise, get time lapses. We'd have multiple drones, so we'd do kind of cinematic drone shots of the landscape we're in. We would do interviews with the guide and the team that was kind of leading us on this outdoor journey, video diaries with the host of the show each evening, a lot of hiking footage with the drone and cameras where you'd have to get up ahead and kind of film them walking towards us. So that was when I was really working in production for any of the type of work I was doing. And it's very different than working a 9-to-5 at a nonprofit. But I think those two, how different those two roles are, just is a good example that if you go into this career path, there's a lot of different opportunities. I know people who have worked in offices as producers in 9 to 5 and have a, you know, very stable schedule and routine. And then I know other people who work in production and who end up, you know, working on sets where they're working, you know, 10 to 12 hours every single day, and then they might have a week or two break before the next job. So there's a lot of different opportunities in this career, and I think it doesn't just have to be the working on set for a TV show or a movie. There's different roles that you can pursue if you do go down this road.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Mark, and my question today is, what do you like most about your job, and which part is the most challenging?
Okay. Is that would you care to hear about kind of my old role where I was traveling more, or would you want to hear more about the nonprofit I'm working on right now?
I think nonprofit.
Okay, I can do both too. I'll try to keep it
Yeah, you
quick.
could do both.
Yeah. So the nonprofit, it was just the most challenging or thing I like most and the most challenging?
Yeah, both.
Okay. Challenging. I feel like my experience is less in writing, and for this current role, there's a lot of writing. So I do a lot of social media captions, help with like copy, like what's written on the website, what's written in emails, press releases. It's just something that I didn't have as much experience professionally coming into. So I think there was an adjustment there where a lot of what I was doing was writing and trying to be a little bit more confident in my writing. So I think that's definitely one of the harder things for me still. What I like about the nonprofit is I have a lot of creative control. I don't have someone micromanaging what I do and what I post on our social media channels, on how I change the website. A lot of the projects that I get to work on, I have a lot of creative control, and I don't have someone saying I need to do it this way, or we need to do it that way, or we like have to change this small thing on the video. There's a lot of creative trust where I can make some of those decisions myself, and I really appreciate that. I also think the balance of this job where I get to work from my own home, and it's not only at my home, I sometimes get to go to a person's house where, for example, like we have a program where we lend out wheelchair ramps to people that need wheelchair ramps, and I get to go photograph and take videos of people installing those ramps for the people we're helping, and then I get to go out. So it's not like a job where every single day I'm working from home from 9 to 5, but some of the time I am, and it's nice to kind of have that balance where I get to get out of the house and work in person with people, but it's not like I have to do that every single day. So I think that balance is nice. For my old job, that's a good question. I think one of the hardest things was just dealing with the environments we were filming in, and the days were very long. So we did a big mountain climb in South America where we climbed the tallest mountain in South America, which is called Aconcagua. It's in Argentina, and it's over 22,000 feet tall. And it was extremely cold, and with the altitude, you're getting less oxygen, so you're dealing with not feeling yeah, you're not at your full strength, and the batteries last a lot or don't last as long in the cold. It's really hard to film with gloves on, so you'd have to kind of take your big mittens on and only have these small thin gloves on, and your fingers start hurting really quickly when you're trying to operate the camera. So with a lot of the outdoor stuff, it was really just dealing with the elements and having really long days. Yeah, you depending on the season, you know, if you're waking up at like 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning to get a morning time lapse, and you have to stay up to get the sunset time lapse, you're not going to bed until, you know, depending on where you are, between like 5 p.m. or even like 9 p.m. Depending on when the sun sets. So with that, there was just a lot of it was physically tough to make those TV shows. And the days were very long. So that was tough. I would say the pro to that was the locations I got to travel to and film in. I got to visit a lot of beautiful countries and places that I would never get to have gone otherwise, and get access to film places that were beautiful. I met a bunch of amazing people. I got to learn about different cultures there that I don't think I would have gotten access to. And yeah, it was just an opportunity where I really felt like I got to explore the world in a unique way, and go to some places that were incredibly remote where there was no one else around us. So I was really grateful for that experience.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. It's Ibuki.
The other question was, so you were talking about how you were able to travel around the world, and which place was sort of like your favorite place to make a film?
Yeah, that's a great question. And a lot of people have asked me that, and it's always hard to answer. I think there's kind of two ways to answer the question. One of the ways is just based on what I did and what we did in the location. As I said earlier, some of the times it was like filming in a desert, filming in a jungle, or filming on a mountain. For one of the episodes, we went to Uganda and filmed these endangered mountain gorillas. And we got to follow we got to follow someone who found the gorillas in the jungle for us, and we got to spend a lot of time following these endangered mountain gorillas and get really close to them. And it had always just been a goal, even when I was in high school, just that I wanted to travel and see the world, and I wanted to film. When I think the first Planet Earth had come out when I was starting to get into this, and I was like, oh, it would be so cool to go film animals and film nature and get to travel the world through this. And that was one of the times when it felt like it was kind of this bucket list moment for me, where I was filming these endangered animals, and yeah, it just felt like I was checking off a really big bucket list moment for me. So I'd probably choose that. Getting to climb Aconcagua, I got to do it twice, was also really cool. I never considered myself like a mountaineer or something, and then I was doing it for work, so I felt like that was really enjoyable as well.
Thank you so much.
Final question.
Mhm.
As a potential filmmaker, what do you think I should be doing right now? Like as in high school, what do you think would be best for me to continue to try and be a filmmaker?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think making videos and experimenting and trying new things. I think when I was in school, the access to filmmaking equipment was just starting to become more accessible. And now, you have a phone that can take pretty great video itself. And I think just experimenting with cinematography, experimenting with writing, editing, directing. If you have a group of friends or your classmates here that you want to just start making videos with, that's great. I will also say that with social media, and especially TikTok now, making things that are really short and just getting them out there can be big. I think there's just with YouTube and with TikTok, there's just a lot of potential to putting your work out there and getting discovered right now. I think there's also a lot of great people to follow online that are doing really cool things to get inspired by. So putting yourself out there in that way could start creating opportunities for yourself. And it's just a great way to kind of see reactions to your work. I think, I also just think that this experience will teach you a lot, and you don't need to be, I think trying not to be afraid of I don't want to call it failure, but just like maybe making something that doesn't meet your expectations in quality is okay. I think you're going to learn from making mistakes. You're going to learn from things not going the right way. Just starting to make videos is going to really teach you a lot. And it'll only teach you things that you can do differently next time to improve your work. And I think it's also just good to experiment in the different crafts. There's a lot of different areas that you can go in. Play with sound editing, play with interesting lighting setups. And I think you'll then start to realize maybe which area of filmmaking that you like more, but you don't need to limit yourself right now. You don't need to choose anything. Just getting out there and making videos is going to teach you a lot.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Jesse, thank you so much. I just want to show you one quick thing before you go.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking at, do you recognize that?
Oh, wow. Oh, it's amazing.
So you're up in the shrine of great film,
Nice.
right next to Safar.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for taking your time. Everyone say goodbye to Jesse.
Yeah.
And let's
good
have
luck, everybody. I
dinner
hope.
or something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just good luck, everybody. I hope whether you choose to pursue this career path, if you don't, it doesn't mean you can't make videos for fun. It is an art form, and I think it's just, that doesn't have to have the pressure of being a career if you don't want it to, and it's okay if it is, and it's okay if it isn't. But if it's just a great way of expressing yourself and having fun.
Thanks, Jesse. Let's talk soon.
All right, thanks,
okay?
everybody.
Okay.
Yeah,
Talk to
bye-bye.
you later. Bye.